What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the GITM podcast, where we cover true crime, paranormal, and just anything else we want to discuss.
Stuff.
Major stuff, important stuff.
I think you want to start heavy mouth breathing through the intro.
We might add to it a little bit. But tonight we are covering psychic dreams. Do our dreams hold the key to the future? There are some famous cases, or famous stories, I might add. We're going to get a little technical and maybe discuss, if you want to try this experiment, maybe how you can do it.
I'm going to forehand this with probably not. At least most of us.
You'd be surprised. But like always, we will have a little fun talking about it. We will probably shit on it in the end.
Probably.
Because that's just the kind of guys we are. But before we get too ahead of ourselves, if you're not familiar with the program, the topic we will get to, but we like to shoot the shit in the beginning.
Just like every other podcast.
So if you don't want our opinions on stupid shit, just fast forward about 20 minutes and you'll get to it. And if you listen to us on your favorite podcast app, be sure to head over to the YouTube channel. That way you can catch us live when we do record each and every one of these episodes live.
If you don't want our opinions on dumb shit, arguably you're in the wrong place. There will be opinions and there will be dumb shit abound.
We have some good opinions every once in a while.
I say 1 out of 13.
Yes. But don't forget to like, subscribe on the YouTube channel and your favorite podcast app. Be sure to give us a follow there and rate us, review us, all that happy shit. Audio
Just
up.
Checking.
So we have to check with us.
Everything else was fucked this time.
Hold on. Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's why I checked.
Well, I don't know why that's done.
Because I made that mistake last time.
Yeah. That's right, you did. So, what's going on in the world? Well, we did not do an episode last week because I was circling the drain. Mm-hmm. I was basically dead on arrival.
You know, it's funny because the last episode we were talking about how important or how slept on the value of a good diarrhea is.
Yes, and I paid the fucking price.
You were stricken.
Karma was a bitch.
We spoke it into existence, and you were ailed by a leaky butthole.
And leaky everything else. There were legitimate concerns that I probably should have went to the hospital.
So what we're saying is what we're talking about tonight might be true, but not dreams.
Right. I look like death warmed over. And a lot of it was I didn't feel well, and I was having those issues, so I didn't eat from like Tuesday till like Friday.
That'll help.
And with the dehydration, I could not drink enough water to keep hydrated. So by Friday, I was circling the drain. But Saturday, I finally ate something Friday night. I experimented. I said, I got to eat. Oh, no, I had some soup.
It's a good start. And
I did feel a little bit better Saturday, but it was short-lived. I kind of had to go to my mom's house and stuff. I ran out of energy by the time I got there. Driving took it out of me. And then I regressed, we might say. But then Saturday night, I said, I got to eat something. And I'm going to test the waters. And you know what I ordered?
What?
I DoorDashed me some Skyline cheese conies.
I don't know if that's a good choice.
I was either going to go down with the ship or something good was going to happen.
Like, I have diarrhea. Let me order diarrhea.
And I could not I ordered 4. I ate 1.
It just shot right through you?
No, it did not right through. There was a little bit of a speed bump. But I did, I did feel better. But by Sunday morning when I woke up, after I ate late Saturday night, Sunday morning I woke up, I was feeling 1,000 times better.
Should have had a Subway sandwich.
Maybe.
If it fueled a hidden pedophilia ring, it can fuel a human body.
Yeah, but I figured I'd go Skyline. And for those of you who don't know what Skyline is,
it's diarrhea.
It's the Cincinnati version of Taco Bell.
I like it, but it's very diarrhea-inducing potentially. Just
not a Latino food.
If nothing else, it's very heartburn-inducing.
I figured I was either gonna sink or swim, baby. I was either gonna.
If he dies, he dies.
Yeah, I was going to Drago that shit. If he dies, he dies.
I'm going to hit him with the old Oregon Trail and die of dysentery.
Yes. So that was our week last week. Don't fear, I'm 100% healthy now.
Give it time.
But I did lose like, what, 15 pounds
I bet.
In 3 days.
How fast did you put it back on?
I haven't checked.
Usually doesn't take very long.
I put about 7 pounds back on a day or two, about 2 days later. And I haven't checked. Fridays are my weigh-ins.
Is that why you got Skyline? You're like, I lost weight with diarrhea. I have to replace weight in diarrhea. Yes. I have to have a good body composition.
Friday we will know. I don't think I'm starting from scratch, but I mean, 95% of it was just water. I was bone fucking dry.
Piss out my ass.
Yes. But anyway, so what's going on in the news today or this week since we've been?
You said something about lady astronauts.
Oh yeah,
if you can call them that, and I don't say that because they're ladies. I feel like from what you explained to me briefly, no matter male, female, or transgender or whatever, I don't think you should be called an astronaut. I guess technically, but
well, here's
doing anything.
Apparently. What's her name? Gail King. Who's Oprah's BFF?
Gail Kim?
King. Whatever.
I have no
He's like on the Today Show or whatever.
I can act like I know.
One of those dumbass shows. Her, Katy Perry.
Why Katy Perry?
Jeff Bezos, or whatever his name is. Fucking. They went up on his rocket, and his girlfriend was there, and maybe a few others.
Why Katy Perry?
But they were in their blue jumpsuits. Not in space.
I saw a picture. I didn't even know it was celebrities.
And apparently, old Jeffy boy shot him up into space. In his rocket dildo.
What would have happened if that would have went south? Public enemy number one.
And they came back down. And apparently they're pissed off because they are not getting the respect they so bravely earned via going up into space.
I mean, it's cool, but like you didn't do anything. You didn't like do any science. There's no fucking like scientific leaps of knowledge because of what you did.
And they were upset because they were not getting their dues as astronauts. They want to be called astronauts. And let's be honest, they did not go into space.
You're astrotourists.
They went into low Earth orbit. And they made reference to, they flew, according to them and whatever, Bezos or whatever, they pretty much flew the same height and trajectory that Shepard did on the first U.S. manned flight. Okay?
They're astrotourists.
So, but here's the difference between, I don't want these hookers to compare themselves to Alan Shepard. Because he was sitting on a rocket that they didn't know that son of a bitch exploded on takeoff more often than it didn't on impact.
Is that their argument? Is it just the whole we risked our lives thing? Which,
no,
I mean, yeah, I'll give you that.
No, they just went into low Earth orbit space where they got a little fucking, their hair was a little loose because they were in light gravity. But let's be honest, they weren't driving shit.
Yeah.
They were along for the ride. And here's the thing that what pisses me off. And it gets even worse because they live streamed the landing when them coming out of the legitimate cockpit. Is this the one that lands itself too? No, that's
Tesla.
That's Elon. Jeff, he can afford that shit. He's got the parachutes.
Which I don't understand how the fuck Jeff Bezos isn't worth more than Elon Musk.
I don't know. That's a good question, but
his daddy's emerald money.
Especially Gail King I heard a bunch of her shit where she wants to be
relevant again because she's not anymore.
She made it sound like they broke some fucking female barrier. Bitches,
there's been women in space.
Yes, there have been women that have died.
Actual scientists that did stuff.
And like if I was that woman that was stranded on the space station for what, like 10 months or whatever, I want her to come back, go on the Today Show, if that's what Gail King's on, slap the fucking taste out of her mouth. Slap her so fucking hard. Say, you think you're an astronaut? Fuck you. Slap her so hard, Oprah's fucking jaw hurts.
Throw the 10 months worth of poop bags at her.
Yeah, I mean, and the funny part is, they live streamed the landing, and apparently, if this is a legitimate rocket ship, capsule, we might add, on the live stream, I don't know if this is doctored. This I saw with my own eyes. I'm just reporting what I saw. Apparently, before they opened the door, somebody on the inside opened the fucking door, and they made it. Somebody went to and they shut it real quick because they wanted the big reveal of Jeff using the key to open them up. Of course, I'm pretty sure NASA, there's not a fucking doorknob on the inside of their ships, especially the old rockets. They had to be opened up.
I don't know. It's like, I'll give you credit for like being the first astro tourist. That's cool. Like,
well, they weren't even the first astro tourists.
I don't know.
William Shatner took a ride on Jeff's flying dick one time.
Well, he's dead now. Look at that. I like how that worked out, Jeff.
Did William Shatner die?
Yeah.
Did he? I'm pretty sure. I missed that.
I'm pretty sure William
Captain
Shatner
Kirk died.
I think.
Google that shit.
And if he did, I'm pretty sure he died a while ago.
No.
Oh, he's still alive. Who am I thinking of?
Well, he is like 185 million years old.
He's 94.
So I
thought he was dead. He might as well be.
He walked around with the dinosaurs. But
not trying to be negative. I'm just saying.
But I do, in all seriousness, think it's disrespectful to the brave women that are in the astronaut program currently, who have sacrificed their lives just by the training, whether it be pilot training or whether it be science. They have dedicated their life to this and put the work in. One of them is a Today Show host. The other one is a pop singer. Is a has-been pop singer that now is just famous because of American Idol. Now,
she did hot as fuck, Idol.
Hot as fuck, boy.
She's dating. Isn't she dating?
I think she's married to Orlando Bloom.
Is that what it is? Who it is?
Yeah. I mean, she was married to, what's his name?
John Mayer?
No. Well, fuck, the comedian. Russell Brand.
Oh.
Yeah, she was married for him for like a hot minute. But hey, like, she's hot.
It's like saying like you go on that coast to coast Amtrak trip and being like, I was a leading example of manifest destiny. Whoa. I'm basically one of those million Chinese people that died building the railroad.
I mean, let's be honest. I'd liken it to if I took a Uber home from the bar and I said, I just drove home. No, I was a passenger. I did not drive shit.
I'm short, so I'm Danny DeVito.
But I mean, just the audacity. And all it was a publicity stunt.
Yeah, just go up there and then come back and be like, yeah, that was cool, and that's it. That's it. Nobody cares other than that.
Is there a flat? That's all we want to fucking know.
Right.
Was the curve there? Talk to me.
Did you gather any evidence of scientific research or anything? No, I mean, you just went up there and you went down. Is it cool? Yeah. Are you fucking like a groundbreaking scientist? No. Nobody owes you anything because you fucking went up in a super high airplane.
But let's be completely honest. This, in today's world, is much safer. There's always a chance when you're dealing with rocket fuel. Shit could go sideways. But it's much safer than what it was in the 60s.
Yeah, I mean, you know, maybe if you guys would have blown the fuck up, you would have got the recognition you deserve.
Or that you want. But
no, I'd say it's deserved at that point once they explode.
And of course, remember, I'm old enough to remember I watched the Challenger blow up live on television. Sunday. I was home sick from school that day, and back then it was cool to watch.
Did you have diarrhea then too?
No, I think it's probably one of those. Hope my mom's not watching.
Is this an ongoing ailment?
It's probably one of those. I don't feel good today.
With choking on ghost dicks.
I probably would knowing me pulled a Ferris Bueller.
There's no way that you have the mental fortitude to come up with a plan as good as Ferris Bueller's. How dare you say such a thing?
Oh, yes, I could. That was good. But
you also probably didn't own a mannequin.
No. Blow up doll, yes.
And I feel like, fuck. Somebody made a joke about blow up dolls the other day. I find that to be just the most creepy thing ever. They even look fucking creepy. They have mitten hands.
No, so wait.
It's like fucking and plus the noises.
We'll get to psychic dreams in a minute. But
I'm talking about important shit.
I want to touch on something. So, what's your thoughts on these? Because it's right around the corner. It's already here.
I think that it's weird across the board. Like the real dolls and shit like that, the sex robots. I think it's just odd all the way across the board.
But how's it any different than masturbation?
Because it has a face. that's not real. I think that it's just going to form a larger population of incels.
I mean, I'm to the point where now I was like, you know what? It might just be easier. Don't have to deal with the bullshit.
No, it's still weird. So like I said, I think it's just going to make the incel population grow. Well, we could do a whole episode on that.
Well, I have a lot of thoughts on that. I mean, society now, men don't have a fighting chance. Women don't have a fighting chance.
Who does?
I mean, especially after the Me Too movement, men are so afraid. You can't, like if you were a female, I can't, it's still, you can't really do this, but don't think it's bad. I can't say, you know what, you look really nice today. Exactly.
Pig. And we're not saying everybody is this, but it exists in the world.
Right. You know, and
are you checking me out? I mean, you're like literally standing in front of me.
And let's be totally honest. This might come out wrong, but when it comes to dating, relationships, dating, women hold all the fucking power.
Yeah, yeah, for the most part, yeah. Because
90% of the time, it's a man asking a woman out. They have the power to say yes, no, fuck off, maybe, whatever. And let's be honest, they have the vagina. So they got pocket aces. Now, pocket aces can be cracked, but most of the time, pocket aces are going to win. They have
I don't
power.
know. It just confuses me because it's like, I want to know where all these people are.
What people?
Because you don't see them for real in day-to-day life.
What people?
These super offendable fucking like...
I've seen a few. I mean, like that one chick that used to go up to the bar that worked at one of the restaurants that got offended by something you said about your own race. Remember her? I haven't seen.
That's happened to me a couple times.
But, you know, I mean, people like that get offended.
I'm trying to think of the time.
If you get offended on somebody else's behalf...
That's racist, first off.
Right.
I'm trying to think of the scenario we're talking about.
It was outside. I remember you telling me so. I can't think of... I don't know her name.
Were you there?
No, you told me. But I was not that particular time. You remember the kind of uppity... She works at the fancy restaurant they used to all come here on Friday nights or whatever. I don't know if she was...
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
I don't know if she was a manager or a hostess or something.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I don't think she was a waitress.
Yeah, I know. I remember what you're talking about.
That kind of person, I mean, nice. I've talked to her in the past. She's nice girl. I mean, I guess she's a lot younger than me.
Yeah.
But I could see she would be that type. Just by that, from what I...
just get off your fucking high horse. Like, stop trying to social justice warrior. Especially for somebody who's completely capable of standing up for themselves. If I feel the need to.
Well, like I was at a convenience store or whatever, that's last year, whatever, and one of the cashiers said the R word. And the lady...
Rhetoric.
No.
Oh, the R word from Blazing Saddles? Rarid.
You know, the R word, which we are not allowed to say, we have to say slow or whatever it is now.
Handy capable.
Yeah.
I actually don't mind that term.
Handy
capable. I feel like that's good for the people to or about whom you're speaking.
The R word, the definition is just slow.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's another word they take. But the cashier said it. She did something not very bright, and she said, "Oh, I'm so freaking R-worded," which I don't have a problem saying it. I will say it left and fucking right. I don't.
Yeah, I mean, you could make the argument of like maybe not at work in front of customers.
But
like that's not a good look
for the lady to get so offended. I'm like, Now, I'm sorry if you have a child or a loved one.
I was literally going to say, you turn around, you're like, look, it's not that big of a deal. Stop getting butt hurt. It's not like, and like she moves, like takes like a stance or moves slightly left or right, and you see like there's a child in the car, and you're like, Jesus Christ, never mind. I mean, you shouldn't say that, you fucking bitch.
I mean, it's not. And anybody that has experience with these type of people, they're fucking hilarious. They're fun to be around.
Used to being around these animals.
They're hilarious and they're fun to be around, and they don't take They are happy. They are the happiest son of bitches I've ever seen in my life.
I've seen some pretty angry ones.
Well, some of them. I mean, but why get offended for some? It's
because there's not enough going on in their own life.
Right. I mean,
because their life is fucking boring, so they feel the need to stand up for other people that don't need them to.
Well, and these are the same people, the white women that like to protest and, for the black community and burn down their own shit.
Wawa, there's a lot more than one Wawa in Cincinnati now. I know of like 3 already.
Never even been in one.
I've been to a Wawa. I'm a local brand gas station connoisseur.
Are there some open now? I know they're building one up here, and
I don't know if they're actually open, but I've seen like 3 or 4, and they're all very close to being open.
Oh, yeah. All right, you got anything else you want to talk about before we drop this Psychic Dream podcast episode? Since we are we're a little late. No, right at about 20 minutes by the time I edit it up.
I don't know. Let's talk about retards. So. That is, oh god, that is so one of my favorite bits that Shane Gillis did when he's talking about love on the spectrum. He said, those people are very awkward and can't understand social settings. Let's show a bunch of cameras in these retards' face. I was like, dude, it's true. And that's coming from somebody who thoroughly enjoyed watching that show. I'm up to date with it. Oh, The Last of Us Season 2 started.
I don't think my cables are all fucked up. I still haven't taken it back yet. I don't have Max.
Oh, you piece of shit.
I could probably watch it if my cable wasn't fucked up. Oh, we're right down the street from Liberty Township.
The one in Cincinnati opened just out. Idiot.
Yeah.
Liberty Township isn't even Cincinnati.
Yeah, it's Cincinnati adjacent.
It's one of those. It's Ohio. You just have to say Cincinnati, Dayton, Columbus, or Cleveland,
or
maybe Akron to basically.
We're like Liberty Township's technically closer to Cincinnati as Dayton by about 2 miles.
I know, it's just it's a directional
because I think Middletown is the exact halfway spot between
that would make sense.
Downtown Cincinnati and Liberty Township, 18 miles north of
what a stupid way to name a city.
Middletown.
What do we name it? Well, it's in the middle. Middleburg, Middleville, Middlesippi.
Yes.
That's what it should have been, Mississippi. Middissippi. Mississippi.
Akron is...
Ew.
That's up by the northeast corner.
Akron's kind of a hole.
Akron, the home of Goodyear Rubber.
Is that what it is?
They used to be located out of there. I don't know if they still are.
I don't know. Is there any? I don't even know. I don't follow fucking current events anymore.
Not really. I mean, I quit paying attention to
it's all just fucking doom and gloom and fucking arguments. That's all it is. It's fucking stupid.
Now the election's over, I quit paying attention.
Oh, did you see that guy that the FBI arrested in Mason?
No.
For making and detonating explosives in his house?
Sweet.
Yeah, I don't know shit about it, but it happened.
Nice. I did see like a clip of it, of the FBI raiding a nice house in fucking Mason. For those people who don't know, for our out-of-town listeners.
It's a ritzy suburb.
Ritzy suburbs.
It's a suburb that all the other suburbs hate.
Which
apparently I'm just finding out that Westchester and Liberty Township are now like that.
Well, see, Westchester used to be the uppity that everybody hated.
Yeah.
Liberty Township moved into that.
Well, now I guess
Mason really took the ball. They said, "Hold my fucking beer."
Well, I was talking to a guy at GameStop that is right there in the middle of all of it, and he said that Westchester people now look down on Liberty Township people. See, which is the stupidest fucking thing ever. Like, why? What? There's literally, you can't tell a difference if you cross over into the next one.
Well, Liberty Township is much newer and much nicer now. Is the rich area now.
Yeah.
To where Westchester was the rich area. This is boring to everybody else, but we don't care. Westchester always was that.
Everybody has an experience like this. It's just different areas of the country.
Here's the thing. Westchester is much older than Liberty Township, growth-wise, and Westchester is landlocked and can't grow anymore.
Yeah.
They had to move to Liberty Township, which is basically, let's be honest, Liberty Township.
It's the same fucking thing.
It's the same school district, same.
Yeah.
Because I remember when I was in high school,
It looks the same.
Liberty Township was the farms,
Yeah.
and Westchester was the residential areas.
Yeah, and now Liberty Township's got like $3 million plus house fucking neighborhoods.
I remember when Westchester wasn't even Westchester. It was something different.
Yeah, I don't know. He was just telling me about it, and apparently the customers over there are fucking awful.
I mean, Mason is a little bit uppity. And Mason used to be the Liberty Township, all farmland and everything.
Well, he was talking about how the Switch 2 is coming out. I found this hilarious. The Switch 2 is coming out. And some fucking uppity white lady was in there asking about the pre-orders for the Switch 2. And he was like, well, those actually, we're not taking pre-orders for those yet because the company's waiting for more information on the tariffs because they're coming from Japan, obviously.
Right.
And she was like, oh, you don't have to make this political. It's like, you fucking dumb bitch. You're the one that voted for him.
Well, here's
what are you talking about? And second, it's not making it political. You can't make that argument because you voted for the fucking guy. I guarantee it, which is fine. That's whatever. But you can't then be fucking butthurt by the shit that you supported being put into place.
Here's the thing about we have to talk. It's not political. Talking about tariffs is not political.
It's economical.
I spent a lot of my day to day I had to order shit, and everything I order comes from China.
Yeah.
So I had to make some phone calls, fire off some emails to get updated pricing to see what the price is.
Or if you're moving to a different product or all that shit.
I can't see. Here's the thing. I'm in the rubber business, not Trojan, but
that's silicone.
Rubber
or latex and whatever.
Rubber comes from fucking China.
Pretty sure they make it out of everything now.
So I had to find out because of the tariffs what the price increases are.
Rubber is grown in South America and comes from China.
So it's part of life now.
Yeah, I know. I'm like how are you gonna fucking turn around and be like, you don't have to make it political? Like, no, you fucking idiot. Like, this is how it works.
Price is going to go up.
I think it's a perfect example of people who of the type of person who follows something just for the sake of following because they think it's right, but they don't actually understand how anything works.
Because I had to find out some pricing, get some pricing updates. That way we can adjust our prices.
Yeah. You literally have to do it, especially and then you're talking about it's GameStop. They're probably pre-ordering. They're probably processing like 1 million pre-orders nationwide. Yeah, they got to figure that shit the fuck out. There's a 24% tariff on Japanese goods.
So
because a lot of those people aren't gonna fucking buy it now.
So
like you're high. You think I'm getting a Switch?
I was kind of shocked. Our prices of what I have to purchase. One thing went up a little bit, not dramatic. The other thing that we use a majority of, price was the same. It hadn't went up yet. Now this could be partly because they have stuff in stock and they're not going to adjust their price till they get the shit off the boat. I mean, that's most likely that's what it is. So, but it's coming, and we will have to adjust because we have inventory, and that's what we have to do.
It's superbly, stupendously dumb.
I agree. All right, let's get into psychic dreams. So, basically, there's a thought that our dreams can hold little nuggets of the future. But I think this could be right too. I'm not completely going to shit on it, but I think there is something to this to a certain extent. But I think you can look at it in very different ways, which does the dream predict the future or does remembering the dream manifest the future kind of thing? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Throughout history, even the Bible and shit like that, there's always been some kind of prophet. Seer, oracle. It's throughout history. It's kind of a big deal.
Can't show them on South Park, though.
Right. Now, science, as always, is a party pooper, and it poo-poos on everything.
Naturally.
We don't want your facts getting in the way of our good time. The common thought of what a dream is basically the easiest way I can describe it, or way I wrap my head around it, is it's almost like your brain defragging at night because you take in so much information that you don't even realize you're taking in throughout the course of the day in your waking hours.
And you can do it while you're dreaming too.
Right. And that is your brain's way to kind of sort through everything you observed throughout the day. It's kind of like clearing out your cache on your computer.
Which people don't do enough.
Yes.
That's how they're getting your information. That's how they turn the frickin' frogs gay.
And we've all experienced deja vu, right? Mm-hmm. Could that be you? Because most people don't remember. We dream. Everybody dreams every night. You're dreaming the whole time, basically. But we don't remember them very often. I mean, sometimes you can have a really interesting dream that you do remember, but it will fade over.
Well, heavy THC use for long periods of time can affect that too. It affects your brain's ability to go into REM sleep.
That's true.
That's why when you hear a lot of people that smoke a lot of weed and then they quit, like for the little while after they quit, they have like super crazy vivid dreams. It's like, yeah, your brain's fucking catching up. It hasn't been able to properly do that in like 5 fucking years.
Yeah. But this could explain a little bit of deja vu. If you deja vu, you feel something, like you experience something through your life, in a day in your life or whatever, that seems familiar, like you've done it before.
Right.
A lot of people think that that's a example of, or proof that the Mandela effect is real. But I think it's more plausible that this is maybe, if our dreams do have glimpses of the future inside of them, and you don't remember it, but just because you don't remember your dream, it's still floating around in your melon.
Yeah. And
when you experience deja vu, it kind of triggers that thought or that memory of that, and that's what the deja vu is. I mean, that makes, I'm no genius, but that kind of makes sense to me. If there is some truth to dreams being gateways to the future.
Yeah. Or I guess one could make the argument that it's like your brain cycling through the potential outcomes of something that's already been incepted into your mind,
right? That
will probably occur, or you will probably do, and the outcomes that action could produce.
Right. Now, precognition, which I can't say, I have to try to say,
doesn't exist,
is basically psychic ability.
Doesn't even exist.
Now,
it's a man-made construct like time.
Dr. Daryl Beam did a lot of research on this.
D-Beam?
D-Beams. He was best known for this kind of research in psychics and precognition. He did basically what his experiments that annoys me. That really annoys me. I think he might have been the inspiration for don't quote me on this, but it seems very.
I'm going to quote you.
His experiments that he did were very similar to Bill Murray's in Ghostbusters. But he
was ahead of his time.
He would basically put his erotic image predictions were his most famous ones. But he would put participants in front of like 2 curtains.
When does it get erotic?
We'll get to that. And the curtains hid an object. In some trials, an erotic image was randomly placed after their choice, which I didn't understand that.
After it?
Yeah, that's what I think that was a misprint. I think behind some curtains were erotic pictures. And participants chose the correct curtain more often than not. More than, if there's 2 curtains, you got a 50-50 shot. Right? They chose the right curtain above the chance. You factor in chance.
Are we saying that dicks and clitori are like dowsing rods for porn?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Huh. That sounds like a fun game show.
Now, Beam...
Tonight, hosted by Drew Carey, locate the labia.
Bem, I guess it's not Beam, Bem, claimed that 8 out of 9 experiments produced statistically significant results, suggesting some form of retroactive influence. That basically,
a bunch of horn dogs.
yeah, they were reacting to. They could pick up on that some form of psychic ability.
They were reacting to the puss,
right,
or the dick. Even though women don't like dick pics.
That's what they say. They like because they like to show it. If you send a woman a dick pic, I guarantee you every one of her friends has seen it.
Oh, for sure.
For sure. And men don't do that. We might be scum of the earth, but men do not do that.
What?
Show if their significant other sends them.
Oh, I'm sure it happens.
I'm sure. In my 50 some odd years, I have received a few pictures via
Pony Express,
via the phone that nobody else has ever seen. Now, granted, it's been years.
You think there was sexting via telegraph? Oh, fuck.
Wrong period. No, maybe. I mean, what you think back when the camera was first invented, it took like an hour and a half. You had to pose. That's what pose for like an hour and a half.
Right.
That's why they all looked so happy. I mean, it would take.
Who had that first idea? Patricia, I have an idea. Come hither.
We're gonna you pose for an hour and a half to get naked in front of this camera, and then it takes what 3 weeks to send it across country.
Right.
This is like a 6-month ordeal.
That's dedication, hard work.
That's love, is what that is. That is true love. But anyway, psychic dreams have, like I said earlier, throughout history, you got ancient Greek and Roman beliefs of oracles of Delphi, which, so if I'm not mistaken, they basically, that had something to do with mushrooms. I think that...
Are those the ones on top of the mountain?
Yeah, and I think the steam that rose from...
Supposedly had like a really ugly guy that was in charge.
Probably. But I think there's something about I don't know whether it was methane or something leaking.
They were farting up there?
It was leaking through the mountain or whatever. They were having hallucinations.
They were a bunch of gassy bitches. They were just up there farting, getting high on their own supply.
Like I said, there's all kind of references in the Bible. Joseph's dream in the Bible.
Drugs.
Through the Islamic faith, there's all kind of Islamic dreams.
Drugs.
And there's all kinds of, this is the fun stuff we want to get into, why I really want to get into this. There's a lot of famous historical figures that had psychic dreams.
Drugs.
Let's get into this. This is a fun story. And this is the kind of
We're
shit.
going to talk about fucking Nostradamus.
He was mentioned in this, but I didn't include him because I never really thought his were dreams. Didn't he look into a ball and
a crystal ball,
or
like Merlin?
I don't know. See, I didn't. He was mentioned in my research, but I did not want to cover it because I think his was more of a. Even though there's one later on that's kind of the same as him. I guess I should have included
Confucius.
Anyway,
Confucius say, "Man who go to sleep with itchy butthole, wake up with stinky finger."
That's true. First one I want to talk about, one of the most famous people in American history.
Katy Perry.
Because she's an astronaut now, apparently. Abraham Lincoln. We all know who Abraham
Is there
Lincoln
anything this motherfucker didn't do?
He was gay.
He was allegedly part black.
He was a hell of a wrestler, apparently. We're going to call that wrestling. But that might have been his homosexual tendencies. What are you doing? What are you doing? Wrestling?
He was tall.
Wore an ugly ass hat and
he was ugly.
Had a shitty ass beard.
All the depictions of him, he doesn't look like a looker to me.
Now, according to accounts, Abraham Lincoln dreamed about his assassination, and most notably from his friend and bibliographer Ward Hill Lemon Lincoln. Jesus Christ, or Ward Hill Lemon. There we go. Lincoln described
He's dead. Fuck him.
Lincoln described a vivid and disturbing dream. Lincoln said he dreamed he was wandering through the White House late at night. As he moved from room to room, everything was strangely quiet.
Yeah, it's nighttime, dummy.
Eventually, he entered the East Room and saw a covered corpse laying in a coffin and a raised platform used for funerals. Of course, it's a coffin.
A catafalque?
Whatever that is. It was surrounded by soldiers and mourners. He asked one of the guards who is dead in the White House. The guard replied, hey, get that out of my way.
Fuck off.
The guard replied, the president. He was killed by an assassin. Now,
that could just be a fucking dream. Like, you're the president. Was he the first president to be assassinated?
No, I do not. Maybe. Now that I think about it.
Trendsetter. I don't find that to be very good evidence of this. That just seems like something you would fucking... I feel like every person of power has had that dream.
I think everybody... I've even had dreams of my own death. But I'm pretty sure I won't die in the way that I dreamed that I died. And I will say for a fact that, there always that rumor, if you die in your dreams, you die. No.
I don't know.
Well, I don't know if I told the story.
If I've died in my dreams, I don't recall it. So
I don't remember if I've told the story. If I have,
I need a haircut.
If I have on this podcast, I apologize. But you're gonna hear it fucking again because I want to tell it. I had a dream one night I was being chased by a man with a gun in a flea market.
A specific one?
Yes.
Yeah?
The one up here.
Nice.
Because I used to work
The good
there.
one or the bad one?
The good one.
Oh, okay.
I used to work there.
The one where you can buy alligators or no?
I used to work there, so I spent a lot of weekends there.
You would work there.
Yeah.
Did you work at a booth or did you work in the food?
My father had a booth.
Oh, yeah, we've talked about this.
So
sold Butterfingers.
Yeah, my dream was...
He sold Butterfingers and gas station vodka.
My dream...
Welcome to the vodka fingers. This is my son. I'm not going to hit him.
He knew better than that because I was pretty much bigger than him by the time I was in 4th grade. Anyway, I was running down there's a main, you've probably been there, haven't you? Mm-hmm. There's a central hall and then fingers shoot off from the central hall. I was running down the main hall and a guy was running after me with a gun. The dream goes, I heard the gunshot, I felt the pain and fell forward. And I rolled over and I was looking up and everybody's around me and things start getting black. Like, turn to black. The
people or?
No, fade to black. Then there was no...
I was going to say, that could go either way.
I didn't see no light at the end of the tunnel. Just fade to black. And it went completely black. And then I don't remember waking up, but as I started to focus in, it all went together. Focus in. I realized I was laying in bed and I was looking up at the blackness of my room. It was the freakiest thing I've ever seen. It was almost like
There's no black guys?
I'm sure there was, but I didn't.
There's no, you got knocked the fuck out.
Yeah.
World star. Did you hear a distant smoke detector beep?
No. But I'm pretty sure I'm not going to get shot at
Trader's World.
Yeah. Now,
right down the street from Footlong Jesus.
I was actually, I believe, maybe I dodged a bullet.
Were you laying?
Pardon the pun.
Were you laying in Footlong Jesus' arms?
Remember Walmart?
Yeah.
Had that shooter?
Yeah.
I was actually, it's like, I got to go to Walmart. And I drove to it, and it was kind of weird. I was like, cops everywhere. I was like, I'll come back another time.
Yeah,
I could have been shot in Walmart. I don't know which is worse, being shot and killed in Walmart or Trader's World flea market.
I don't think they ever put tile back in that Walmart. They did. They broke up all the tile, like in the area where people got shot. I'm assuming there was like blood stains and shit. And now there's no longer tile on the floor in that Walmart. It's just like finished cement.
Yeah, now I don't think Abraham Lincoln's account is proof of anything. Interesting, makes it somewhat.
But like that's some shit that I feel like a world leader would dream about.
Yeah, I mean, it's more. I'm not a big believer in coincidence, but it is very coincidental. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm more of a believer in Quincy Jones.
Really? I heard wasn't he one of him and Clive, or really the backdrop of this whole music industry? I
don't know. He was the voice of Chef from South Park.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, they apparently what did they do? I think it was Quincy Jones, but he just like up and quit when they made the Scientology episodes because he was a Scientologist.
Quincy Jones was a Scientologist?
Yeah. Apparently, if that's the voice of Chef, then yes. I think it is.
Very interesting.
You know, deep voice, black guy. That's descriptive. Cool glasses. Bald, beard. No, it's just getting more vague.
Speaking of racist.
Yes!
Another famous author.
Is racist? Was Mark Twain racist?
Mark Twain had a dream about his brother's death.
Hey!
See that segue we just...
Isaac Hayes. There we go. Oh, yeah, Quincy Jones was the one from Austin Powers.
Was it? I don't remember. Mark Twain, also known as Samuel Clemens, by his real name, had a famous and deeply unsettling dream or premonition about his death of his younger brother, Henry, which turned out to be eerily accurate.
Now, if this is some shit that just makes sense for the 1800s, then I'm not going to take it for any credibility.
A little bit. In 1858, Twain was working as a riverboat pilot on the Mississippi River and helped his brother get a job on the steamboat called the Pennsylvania.
Original.
Shortly after, Twain had a vivid dream and disturbing dream about his brother's death that haunted him. The dream, he saw Henry lying in a metal coffin dressed in one of Mark's suits, or Samuel's suits, whatever. On his chest was a bouquet of white flowers with a single red rose in the center. The coffin was resting on two chairs in a light-filled room, which makes sense. The dream was so vivid and troubling that it stuck with him for a while. A few weeks later, so a while, the Pennsylvania boiler exploded and Henry was severely injured. He died several days later. When Twain went to view the body, he was shocked. His brother was in a metal coffin wearing one of his suits that he did not know. He had no knowledge of them giving him one of his suits. Someone had placed a bouquet of white flowers with a single red rose on his chest. The coffin was laid across two chairs just like in his dream. He was so shaken by this, and he firmly believed it was a supernatural psychic event. I mean, there's a lot of this. My ADD's kicking in.
He's also a writer, though.
You know, this is much more compelling than Lincoln. There's a few more details, of a premonition of the future. This could be actually, if you're in terms of, it's not to where, how can I say this? Lincoln was this, everybody, a world, like you said, a world leader probably has had a dream about being assassinated.
Yeah.
This had the details to go along with it, according to the reports. Now, is the reports bullshit? Or
that's what I'm saying. When did anybody know about this dream? If you heard about this dream after the fact, then fuck off.
Twain we have to take we have to give him the benefit of the doubt and believe him.
He might be a racist, but he weren't no liar.
I believe just because he used the N-word in his Tom Sawyer. But is that kind of...
I guess racism to us is just normal white back then.
Yeah. I think... I mean, this is a much better example than Abraham Lincoln. If it's true, I think this takes coincidence out a little just because of the details are accurate.
Or at least it appears to be.
That's a good way.
It looks better on paper.
Right. Now, was this his imagination also?
Just imagination.
Did he maybe connect the dots, and the trauma of losing his brother forced him to connect the dots to where maybe he added the stuff in his... I'm not saying he didn't have the dream. He had a dream of his brother's death, but it was so traumatic when his brother actually died, and he added the details. He joined the two.
Yeah, he was just on a shitload of mescaline the whole time.
He joined the visual and the memory of the dream together to form a picture. I mean, that's very possible.
Not implausible.
Right. It's like I said, you're never going to get 100% proof on any of this shit when it comes to the paranormal. you have to take some leaps, but you also have to counterbalance it with a little bit of rationalization.
That's the hard part about this life we live.
Yeah.
What the fuck is on my shirt? Oh, I'm fat. It's a stain.
Let's move on to Carl Jung.
Jung.
I want to be very.
Did you look that up?
Eccentric.
I was going to say, because that is a accepted spelling of Jung.
I think it's Jung. I'm not an expert.
Like George Jung, the cocaine kingpin of the East Coast.
Somebody Google that. He had dreams predicting World War I. Carl had a series of powerful and symbolic dreams and visions between 1913 and 1914. He felt,
what a time to be alive. Oh, at some point, I do have some shit to talk about. That's kind of cool.
He felt that as time went on, that these were a prediction of the upcoming World War I. The main dream and visions, let's talk about. Okay, the first dream in the autumn of 1913, he dreamt that he was in a foreign land near the border of Switzerland and Germany. He saw a monstrous flood sweeping across the land, destroying everything in its path. Water turned into blood, and the entire northern and lower lying highlands were submerged. He said the dream made him feel a deep dread, and he couldn't explain it logically at the time.
That's just kind of metal.
He had a second dream. He didn't connect these dots right away.
Now we're doubling up.
He had a second dream. A few weeks later, he had another dream. He saw a cold wave descend over Europe. The land became frozen and lifeless, like an ice age. The dream intensified his sense that something terrible was coming. He had walking visions also.
Is that walking or waking?
Waking visions, but you're right. My bad. I can't.
Well, it could have been either fucking one. I see stuff when I walk too.
Waking visions, which I assume some of these maybe he was walking at the time. You never know. Or masturbating. We don't know Carl's fucking habits right now.
Given the time, I would imagine a lot of racism.
Early 1914, he began experiencing waking visions. He would see rivers of blood, mountains splitting open, and oceans turning red. He believed he was on the verge of a psychotic break, which I can see that. He recorded the visions in what became known as the Red Book. He later realized that these were not symptoms of his mental illness, but images from the collective unconsciousness warning him of a coming disaster. After the war began, World War II broke out in August of 1914. He felt vindicated
World War One.
What did I say? World War II?
Yeah.
I even got it right there. World War One.
Sorry, you had a stroke. It's fine.
He felt vindicated and deeply shaken. The imagery from his unconscious mind matched the reality of Europe tearing itself apart. This is connecting some dots, but I think we definitely can say, was it a prediction exactly of World War One, or was this he did have a? And I think this is more how psychic ability happens. You get these feelings, you get these notions, you get these unclear pictures. You know what I'm saying? And so he had a feeling of something was coming. And something did come, World War One, which was horrendous. All world war is horrendous, but this was exceptionally brutal.
I just feel like this is a grab for publicity.
Maybe.
Like, if anybody would have listened to me, even though I didn't tell anybody, well, this could have been avoided. I don't think it could have anyway.
Okay.
World War, I don't think your dumbass is going to make it not happen.
Let's get into more modern cases. Now, this is where I'm going to call bullshit, and I'll explain why. 9/11 and the dreams reported before the event.
Never forget.
Many people have reported dreaming of or sensing something catastrophic shortly before the 9/11 attacks. Dr. Larry Dorsey had a collection of stories, essentially. He was the author of Power of Premonition, collected several cases of people who claimed to have had vivid dreams or feelings of something was going to happen before 9/11. Let me get through it. One woman reported having recurring dreams of people jumping out of tall buildings to escape fire and smoke for weeks before the attacks. Another person described dreaming of planes crashing into skyscrapers just days before September 11th. Okay.
Yeah, but that happened already. All of those things have happened.
It has happened, but I mean, but here's, okay, were these people, I'm a cynic at heart, and I think people lie and want fame. I'm going to put this, if you tell me you had a fucking dream about 9/11 on September 12th, go fuck off.
Right.
Now, if you tell me on the 10th, I had a dream that there's going to be, the World Trade Center is going to be hit by planes and people are going to die and you're going to see them jumping out. And then it happens. Okay, then we can talk.
That's like
anytime after fucking 9/11, I don't want to fucking hear your shit.
I had a premonition dream a couple weeks ago.
What?
I was taking a nap, and I don't remember all the dream, but I remember the whole scenario was basically there was a woman that was demon possessed. It was kind of a Evil Dead situation. Couldn't let her get out of the house, or else the evil would spread throughout the rest of the world. Yeah. So there ensued a fight to keep her inside the home, and then she finally got her way out, and she got just outside the doorway, and she looked back at me and whoever the other anonymous people who were basically faceless and said, "Thanks for all the Gengars," which is a Pokemon. And I woke up, and there was a video about a guy going around a card show collecting every Gengar card that had ever been put out.
Now,
suck it, person who had these dreams. I have them too.
Now, I think the next one is very, very interesting, because I think it touches on something that we talked about earlier, whether it's everybody's heard of, like, Tesla has said all his great inventions and great thoughts came to him. They were given to him in his mind.
Or he stole them.
Well, then what's that one?
Or was that Alexander Graham Bell that stole it from Tesla?
I think that's the way it works. But he said his knowledge didn't generate in his brain; it was given to him.
I feel like that's probably pretty common.
He felt he was tapping into something.
No, you're probably just tapping out of your normal consciousness, and your brain's just working in ways that you can't allow it.
There is the thought that we are all connected. There is the ether, and all information is in the ether, and some people can tap into it.
Some Marvel shit.
What is that? There's a guy, some mathematician from India. He says the same exact thing.
Sanjay Gupta.
No, he says the exact.
Pretty good guess.
But I think this example of Paul McCartney dreaming of the melody for Yesterday, I think this might be, yes, it was a dream. I don't think it's predicting the future, but I think maybe when we do dream, and I've often thought that this is another possibility, that is our brain connecting back to the source code, if you will. So we can...
Now, is there anything to it, though? Because, like, who gives a fuck?
What do you mean? Into what?
If you just dreamt about the melody for Yesterday, like...
Well, I mean, but you're missing the point. The important thing is how things come to people.
You all right? Sorry, we're boring you.
Anyway, let's get to the story, and then we'll talk about it. Let's see. The story of McCartney was dreaming of the melody, blah, blah, blah. The dream. In 1963, McCartney was staying at his girlfriend Jane Asher's house in London.
Was she of legal age?
That I don't know.
Toss up with the Beatles.
None of my business. One morning, he woke up with a fully formed melody in his head. It came to him in a dream while he was sleeping in a small attic bedroom. He immediately played it on the piano, trying to preserve the tune before it faded. At first, McCartney didn't believe it was an original composition. He was convinced that he must have heard it somewhere else and just remembered it in his dream. For weeks, he played the melody for others, checking to see if it already existed. When no one could identify it, he finally accepted that it must have come from his own subconscious.
I mean, it's cool, But like, I feel like a lot of people get that in the arts.
Well, I think you're right, and I think that has something to do with dreams are just more. I do believe this. Dreams are just more than us sorting the files in our brain from the day's events. I think there is a chance. Yes, it is some of that. It is maybe connecting with the universe, and you might get a little bit of this, maybe psychic type stuff or something like this.
Well, I mean, it's just like I fully think that like our dreams, like how people decipher dreams, like I think there's something to that. So I can't say that there's nothing to any of this shit. Like I definitely think that our minds portray shit in our dreams that are trying to tell us something like that we're doing wrong or we shouldn't do or something.
Or maybe warning us of something we need to change our ways kind of thing.
Yeah, like they say, like if you lose your teeth and you're in a dream, it means something specific. I can't remember what it is.
How to recognize or analyze psychic dreams?
Analyze and interpret, like fucking American History X. Good movie. I don't give a fuck how racist it was.
Well, I mean, is it really racist if you're telling the story of racism? You know,
and how somebody became not racist, but it came to bite him in the ass anyway.
Yeah, I did watch a documentary about that, about the history of that, the history or the making of that movie.
Oh, there is one. I'd watch that. I cried the first time I watched American History.
Apparently, the director was a fucking
racist.
No, he's just very eccentric. He wanted to. The movie that we see is what Edward Norton wanted. But the director, if I remember right, didn't want his character to change. You know, didn't want him to have the arc that he had. You know,
stay racist. It's better. It's a better movie.
Or he wanted him to go back to the racist, his Nazi
rhetoric.
Yes. And naturally, anyway, it's very fascinating. I get those lawsuits and shit.
I'd watch it because I think that's a great movie.
I think it was on YouTube, actually.
I have YouTube.
I think it was. Vivid psychic dreams. When your dreams are very emotional with high intensity, very vivid, there's a sense of urgency or realism. I think everybody's had different levels of dreams, I think. I've had very real dreams, and I've had some, we're going to talk about it. If dreams are a prediction of the future, if we do get some predictive dreams, I'm fucked. Daddy's going to have some rough times coming up.
I've had plenty of dreams where they're like crazy and emotional, and then I've had just as many where I just woke up and go like,
oh, Philly boy's dreams here telling me I was about ready to get fucked in the ass and not like it. But that's okay.
I only believe one half of that statement.
This is repetitive. My dream is kind of repetitive. It's not the same, but it's the same sense or theme.
Same feel.
Yeah. But you know, we've heard of lucid dreaming, which is basically dreaming while you're awake, essentially, where you're awake but can't move because of the sleep paralysis. That could play a factor in it. The easiest way to track these and kind of maybe do your own experiments, right, is to keep a dream journal. I've often thought about this.
I don't remember enough of any of mine to do that.
Well, you have to do this. You have to, first thing you wake up, when it's very fresh in your mind, and you're still not going to remember all your dreams.
Even then, like 99% of the time I wake up and I'm just like, I remember bits and pieces.
I mean, I've had some dreams that I still remember to this day that I woke up and literally my first thought was, what the fuck was that? And they stick with me to this day.
So usually when I have that response, it's not a bad what the fuck. It's just like a what the fuck?
And then I've had some other dreams like, can I go back to bed? She was about to take her clothes off.
See, I don't even have that one. It's not even the sex dreams that I do that with. It's like the really interesting ones. Like I'll wake up to pee and like try to go back to sleep because I'm like, what the fuck happens next?
I have done that though. I'm pretty sure.
I've done it. I've successfully done it.
Gone back into the same dream.
Yeah.
I like it when you have a dream and you know you're in a dream. It's weird. That's
oh yeah, that happens to me pretty often.
It's a trippy feeling when you're like, wait, I know I'm dreaming. Okay, yeah. let's have a little fun here.
Yeah, like I've had dreams where like I can still like my brain is still like actively recognizing that like the TV is on in real life, but I'm dreaming.
Now there have been all kinds. I'm not going to get too much into the other bullshit, but anyway, keep a dream journal and for record. Because if you predict the next 9/11, you want to have proof of it. I need a little bit of fucking proof with a timestamp.
If you want to be the next Nostradamus. Or Dave Chappelle's version.
I think a lot of our dreams are symbolism too. So you have to pick out the patterns and know these symbolism things.
Well, and I also think that a lot of our dreams are just fucking horse shit brain firings. Not that all of them are, but like I don't think you can read into every dream as if it's got something to tell you.
Now, if you are having an issue, I guess, like you with remembering your dreams, use meditation, and probably you can, get some of that back or tap into it a little bit.
I don't have the patience for that. I'm not good at clearing my mind.
I used to do it there for a while, a couple of years ago, and I kind of got pretty good. There is a point where time just kind of, you lose.
I don't know.
Because I don't have the patience for it either. But I remember a couple times I really, in like half an hour went by, I was like, oh fuck.
Anytime I've tried it and somebody was like, so how do you feel? I'll be like, I feel like I sat still for 15 fucking minutes. I'm restless.
But it's hard. You don't want to be inside or between my ears. It's hard to quiet the chaos.
I would just fart. Like if I did a public meditation, my childish side would not be overcome. Like eventually I would just have to especially if it's in a big echoey building, which is squawk.
My biggest thing was when I was trying to do meditation, and like I said, it helped, it worked, it calmed me down a little bit. But every time I'd get started, and before, I was clearing the mechanism, focusing on breathing, and it was at that moment my fucking nose would start itching, or something would start.
I thought you were gonna say like you had to take a shit.
No, but something would happen. Like my nose, I would get an itch, and from my readings they said just ignore it, just move past it. I'm like,
what? Easy for you to say, Gandhi, you fuck.
Go get in bed with some kids or shut the fuck up.
Yeah, what the fuck are you talking about? Part of that weird cult group from like Minnesota or wherever it is that I watched a documentary about. It's still around. It was huge in the 80s or 90s.
Oh, what is that? Some country? Straight. I think I've seen some of that.
I don't know.
There's a series on Netflix or something.
I don't know.
I think.
I don't remember what I watched. I don't know. But yeah, dreams are cool, but
I think it's possible there might be.
I think people
you might tap into some, but I don't think it's.
I think too many people read too much into too many dreams that it takes away from the potential legitimacy of the ones that are happening.
No, I will say this. Like I said, I think it's possible that your dreams could tap us, just like DMT. Maybe that sends you into the realm, and
it sends you somewhere.
And maybe because basically, dream. I believe part of that is is a hallucination. I think your brain is producing a little, maybe a little DMT is getting in there.
Yeah.
So you're kind of going to the same place. So there might be something to it. But I will say this, disclaimer. If you dream about Apple stock or some stock is going to go through the roof.
Don't follow it.
I wouldn't chance it.
Not a good idea.
Or if you get like 7 or 8 numbers, if you want to play the Powerball or Mega Millions, give it a shot. Who knows?
I think my biggest thing is probably don't base your major life decisions off your dreams. I don't think the science is there yet.
If it's something that you get a little deja vu, like, oh yeah, I dreamed about that.
Maybe I should turn left instead of go straight.
That's interesting.
Go for it. Try it.
That's interesting. And then a plane crashes on the right.
Yeah. And I've been watching this show called Manifest.
Well, that's one thing I want to talk about.
Manifest Destiny? Racism?
No.
The show has nothing to do with Manifest Destiny.
Manifesting.
This is totally different too.
Okay, well, go ahead and then I'll
it's just it's weirdly interesting. It's on Netflix. It's like,
oh, is it about the plane?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oddly, like it kind of grabbed me.
Is that the one where the plane disappeared and comes
for
back?
like 5.5 years?
Yeah, that's actual. That's a true. I don't want to say true story. That is an urban legend.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe we'll cover that.
There's just something about it. Like I was watching, I was like, okay, you got me. I don't know how long this is going to last as far as being interesting, but okay.
I've seen it on Netflix or whatever.
Well, like they pulled like something just happened in the episode I'm on that like I was like didn't think about that realistic situation though. It was like the wife fucking like took the payout for life insurance to like save the house and like start her business and shit, and they're like, well, he's not fucking dead, we want our money back. And I was like, oh, we're going with some real life drama here. All right, okay.
Sounds like something they fucking do.
Oh, for sure. I think you should call it even Stevens at that point. You should be like, enjoy your life with your newfound love of your life that is alive again. That was a gift from whoever.
Now, manifesting. We've talked about manifesting on this podcast before.
I don't believe in it.
I mean, I think there might be something to it, but I think it's
just convincing yourself to fucking go do it.
I do think there is something to putting something out in the universe. It's not going to give it to you, but it's going to give you opportunities, and you're going to have to make the choices and work for it.
Well, I still argue you give yourself the opportunities. You just have to convince yourself that you're able to go do it.
Now, could these dreams not be a glimpse into the future, but we have a dream that is very real, it strikes us, and it stays with us, and, we manifest it. You
got to be careful with that shit. Martin Luther King's dream got him struck, and that didn't work out very well for him.
Like, let's use Mark Twain as an example, his dream of his brother's death. Okay, that's you. I was like, is the dog fucking coming? Is it possible that it affected him in that state so much that it manifested itself?
See, the Mark Twain thing, just because of who he is, it makes it less plausible for me.
But I'm just saying,
because he's literally a writer. He makes his nut off of fucking stories.
John Doe had a dream about his brother's death, and it struck him to the core. And
has your brother been coughing up blood for the last 6 months?
Okay, say his brother, he had a dream his brother got hit by a car. And a month later, it really affected him. A month later, his brother gets hit by a car. Did the dream predict the hitting him by the car, or did it maybe caused it manifested and caused it to happen?
Probably not.
Or
I feel like that's more far-fetched to me.
I don't think it's any more far-fetched than, I think it's half a dozen, 1/6 the other.
I think one's more of your brain putting together potentialities, and the other one is like influencing the universe for something to happen. Or in that scenario, you'd be like hanging out with your friends and be like, I saw it, guys. This is my fault. And be like, no, you fucking moron. He got hit by a train. You had a dream that he got hit by a car. Stop making it about you.
Yeah. So,
idiot.
I mean, it's an interesting point. You're a little bit more skeptical than I do.
It's funny. I usually am on most shit.
I do. Like I said, I believe the brain is, consciousness is not, I do not believe, held between our ears.
It's in our butts.
I think that we are. I firmly.
Yours is gone after last week.
I like to think. I'm not going to say with 100% accuracy because nobody knows that our consciousness is actually, we're tapped into our consciousness.
Tap that ass.
Or Ready Player One. We're in the simulation.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Simulation.
Yeah.
And we were just the avatars. My operator or whatever is a complete douchebag and likes to fuck with me.
Probably, yeah. If that's the case. Oh, excuse me. That one snuck up on me. Oh, totally unrelated thing to talk about real quick. New thing you should watch. Everybody should watch.
Pornhub.
No, I have to look up the name of the documentary, but it's a documentary about the Titanic.
Oh, there was, speaking of that, I left it out. There were, natural dreams of the Titanic.
Yeah.
But I heard
a lot of them.
I put it on a 9/11.
Well, I heard a lot of them were told after the fact, right, so it's like, fuck off. Right. But no, it's super cool. They took like years of technology and time to map out the wreckage. And when I say that, I mean like to a very detailed point, from everything from the beginning to the front to the back. Even the like third of a mile in between the wreckage sites that is strewn with debris. And they fucking they scanned it so detailed, and then they took a dude who's like an expert on like ships and has lived his life on ships and knows how ships work and how they move and shit like that, and then a lady who's a metallurgist or whatever the fuck, studies metal, right, and then a guy that ran or had something to do with the team that did the scans, and then they put him in these like fucking what are they called? Places where they shoot movies, like there's just big fucking warehouses where they can do whatever. Studio? Yeah, where they can like build sets and shit like that, and it's fucking, they're massive. Yeah. And they like put these giant fucking screens up, and they like literally the first time they walk in, they kill the lights, and it's like, and it like zooms out, and it's literally like to the point of like you can see like barnacle growth and shit on every part of the ship. You can see the whole fucking thing, and they can zoom out, they can zoom in, they can change the angle. So they're like walking around looking at like the closest thing to a life-size depiction of the crash site that's under the ocean in like perfect detail.
Without going in a submarine and imploding?
Yeah.
Okay.
In like perfect detail. And it's fucking cool.
I think somebody I was talking to somebody, is it down? Oh, somebody was mentioning to me about wanting to go, there's an exhibit downtown.
I don't know if it's still there, but yeah. It travels where you can stick your hand in the water. It's like, this is how cold the water was the night of the... But like, dude, it was fucking cool. They did the math. They even put the shit into like how fast it was going, the direction it's heading, the shape of the iceberg, recreated the crash with like, you know, top of the line technology, and it was fucking crazy. They're talking about how they said it was unsinkable. I forget how many exactly chambers there were, water, like that could be sealed watertight in the case of a rip in the hull. And the Titanic you could flood up to 4 of these chambers. They flooded 5. And the 5th one flooded from like the most, like, I think they said like less than like a square yard of breach in the hull of the ship, and that 5th pod or whatever you want to call it is the reason that the ship went down.
Man, that a bitch.
Like literally something like the size of like a small poster.
Maybe
took down the whole fucking ship.
Maybe one day, one episode we'll do the Titanic, because there's a shit ton of conspiracies on.
Well, they also ran another simulation, which has always been my theory, as a not a fucking expert at all, but I've always thought this, and they finally ran the simulation. You know what probably would have worked and wouldn't have sank the Titanic?
What?
Head on. If they wouldn't have turned away at the speed they were going and they went head on into the iceberg, according to their research and their...
Probably would have just flooded the one...
It would have stopped before it breached into the 5th chamber.
Yeah, it probably would.
So they would have been dead in the water, probably. Actually, no. I don't know how well they would be able to move after that. But realistically, it wouldn't have flooded. They still would have had boiler rooms left. They could have kept the lights on and shit.
Yeah.
They could have kept an SOS out.
That kind of makes sense, actually.
Yeah, and then they started telling really sad stories.
They'd be more likely to a direct hit.
Yeah.
You know,
when they kind of cleared the name of an officer that was on board.
Yeah.
Everybody said shot himself, and like they went back and they looked at the, I forget what they call it, but it's like the arm of the crane basically that swings out to drop lifeboats, and it was still up, which is where the guy supposedly was. And they were like, he went and killed himself, he's a coward. And he was like, well, if that's up, then somebody was planning on putting another lifeboat in that water, and that was supposed to be his station. And then they like found some other thing from a dude that was working that survived the whole thing, and he was like, no, I watched him try to put lifeboats in the water until he got washed overboard and he was never seen again. And I was like, that might be one of the cooler parts of this, is you cleared somebody's name who's been called a coward in newspapers for like 10 years after that. And then they told really sad stories.
I think that the Titanic might be an interesting story. It's hit all the conspiracy theories of...
Oh yeah, they talked, and you know, like you could talk about the personal...
It wasn't the Titanic, it was another... You know,
the Lusitania.
Yeah, and then there's the Fed, all the people at...
Like JP Morgan was supposed to be on there.
Was supposed to be on, all the people that opposed JP Morgan and the Fed were on the boat.
Yeah.
They didn't make
a lot of politicians. Well, not a lot, but some like, I don't even want to say politicians, but some like leaders.
It might make for a good conspiracy.
Yeah. They told some really sad shit, you know, talk about like, oh.
And most important, there was enough room on that fucking door.
It doesn't matter. And actually there wasn't. I watched them scientifically break that down. They were like, no, it eventually would have sunk enough that they both would have been waterlogged enough that they would have died. And I agree with who is it? James Cameron or whoever the fuck made that movie. Yeah. He even said he was like, it doesn't matter if Jack was drowned or if he got crushed by a fucking smokestack. He had to die for the story movie to make sense. I was like, yeah, that's what. Who gives a shit? It's a movie.
I remember when I first watched that. I was watching with a bunch of my ex-in-laws and the girl. I was with her. I said, spoiler alert. most of them die.
Yeah. But yeah, no, they talked about like one lady, how like she was getting her kids on the boat, and then like you got to like her putting her oldest son on, and they were like, "Son, how old are you?" And he was like 19, and they were like, "We have to get women and children out." And like he turned around and looked at his mom, and I guess his mom just like gave him a kiss and like threw him into the lifeboat, and then just like backed away. And I was like, God damn it, now you get to the sad stuff, you motherfuckers.
You know,
because that probably happened a lot. There's probably a lot of parents that went down with that ship that made the conscious decision to put their technically adult children on that boat.
You know, everybody wants to say, I've often thought about this. Everybody wants to say, you know, they would make that exact same decision.
But you don't know.
I don't think so. Until you're faced with that life or death, are you the...
I think in that scenario, it helps knowing that that kid is, in a way, old enough to take care of your other kids if there's no one else to take care of them. I think it would be arguably harder if it was a bunch of young kids, because you'd be like, if I don't get on this boat, what are they gonna do?
Right. I mean,
like, do I potentially lose them all because they don't know what to do after this, or do I potentially lose one and be there for the rest?
In any situation where something bad is destined to happen, everybody wants to say, I would make that call.
Yeah.
I think...
Especially when it's people you don't know. Like, there are definitely people that, in my mind, I fully feel like I would switch places with in a scenario like that.
Yes.
But
I'm not going to... I'm shallow, and I wouldn't do it for a complete stranger.
Unlike maybe if it was like a 5-year-old kid, maybe the thought would at least cross my mind, and I would like to think that I would not be able to let that happen.
I would like to think that I would, and I would definitely like that if it was one of my children.
I feel like if it's one of your children, I feel like it's almost guaranteed.
I would John Q that shit.
I don't even think your brain is in control at that point.
Now, when it comes to somebody else's child or somebody. I would like to think maybe I'm a good enough person, but I can't with 100% certainty say I would. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a realist to know that.
Oh yeah, like it's a fair question in the mind, but I agree. Every part of me wants to say that I would,
you know, to have to make that call.
Yeah.
Now, of course, now I'm old. There's half the time I just want the shit to be over with anyway.
Get in there, kid.
I'm going down with this boat.
It was also cool. I mean, I kind of knew this, but like, it was also kind of cool how we talked about the engineers that ran the boiler rooms, because you know they had officers for all levels of that place. Like they had accounts from guys that were working under that ship at the time that ended up making it out, because like they were like fleeing chamber to chamber, because like some of those chambers were boiler rooms and all this other shit, so they're like, we got to try to seal it so we can blah, 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 keep the lights on, because everything on that ship ran off fucking coal and it wasn't working, and they just kept fucking moving back as they had to. And then apparently I think like 5 or 6 of the engineers that were in charge of the ship's running and shit like that, all the boiler rooms, all that type of shit, I guess at one point, when like once they knew for sure they were going down and it was starting to go down for sure, I guess like the 5 or 6 engineers that were in charge of all those chambers down there looked at all the guys that were working the boiler rooms and were like, you're dismissed. And they sent them up to the deck, and all the engineers took their coats off and rolled their sleeves up, and they fed the coal until the fucking ship went down so they could keep sending out SOSs and keep the lights on.
And even that kind of bravery, I would like to think I would be that brave as well, but I don't.
I feel like
I like Captain going.
I feel like I would be like. I feel like you would naturally be more apt, depending on the person. I don't know. I feel like I would be more well suited for that scenario than the other one. I feel like a lot of people would be more suited to be like, oh, potentially everyone's on my back. All right.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like, but
and then there's also that fact that it's like you did something too. Right. You tried. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, it's an interesting thought experiment. I'm 100% sure everybody says they would, but I know not everybody would.
Oh, for sure. And again, I can't say that I would or would not. I would like to think that I would.
You know, the old adage, the captain has to go down with the ship.
He did. A lot of people went down with that ship.
But you know, until you're faced with that fucking realization that, okay, I'm going to die right here, fight or flight has to kick in at some point.
Yeah.
And
I'm sure that captain just went and got hammered.
Fog it.
But there's also something too, like, I really do think that the further back you go in history, there was a lot more weight on honor and respect than we have today.
I think during those previous generations, it's more likely than it is today. We are much, with technology and our lifestyles, we are much more self-absorbed, selfish.
Yeah. Pieces of shit, kind of.
Nobility has being a noble person has kind of went by the wayside.
I don't even know that it's gone by the wayside. I just think it goes unrecognized.
Chivalry or whatever.
I just think it goes unrecognized. I don't think it's held in as high a regard as it used to be.
Exactly. It's not looked upon.
People don't acknowledge it for what it is, like they used to.
That's like going back to the what we were talking about with women, and you can't even compliment a woman without being facing a sexual harassment. Like
we're not making broad statements here. I know the fact that you can say somebody looks nice, but we're just talking about the little fucking small minute.
But opening a door for somebody,
people,
and I can open that door myself.
Fuck off.
And I tried.
Guess what's happening? That heavy ass door's coming swinging back at you. I'm letting that bitch go.
I try to open the door for men and women, or hold the door.
I did it today. Where was I?
Now there is a fucking distance. If you're halfway across the parking lot, I'm not going to sit there for 3 minutes waiting for you to get there.
Yeah, if you got like 10 steps, yeah, I'll sit there and just kind of like reach back and.
Or if we're walking out at the same time, I'll open it and let. I don't know if a man I'll let go through, but definitely a woman I'll open the door and say, go ahead.
Older men, I definitely will. A dude carrying a baby or something like that, like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. That happened to me today. I was at Chipotle, and I walked in, and like, the setup, I walked into like the side door. Where like the drinks and shit over here, and you walk over this way to get and I walked in, and there's a dude, a grown man, leaving from over here, and like I just walked in, and he I looked over, and he was there, and I was like, oh, my bad. Like, he's like, oh, you're good. Like, even a situation like that, like just the thought that I had been like, oh, my bad, I technically should have held that door for you. Oh my God, you want to hear some funny shit?
Sure.
Dude, I was at an antiques mall last week, I think, walking around, because I love a good antique mall. I don't know how you feel about it. I don't think I've
ever been in an antique mall.
Dude, we should go. I almost never even buy anything. Everyone, you might buy something small, but it's just fucking cool.
Do I look like how old do you think I am? And do you think I want to go antique?
I'm younger than you. No, if you see cool shit, like anybody can walk in there and be like, all right, that's fucking cool. Like, it'll just be some little trinket. Like, you just see cool shit there. Yeah. I find it interesting. Even if I don't buy anything, it's a good way to kill some time. Especially like this one over in Fairfield. They have like all of them have like displays, like lit displays behind glass that you have to have somebody. There's some really cool shit in there, like crazy baseball cards and like old like fucking hand carved knives and shit. There's fucking cool shit in those places, and that one I'm pretty sure has food. Double. But anyway, I'm
liquor license. I'm there.
So I'm at this antiques mall. We'll finish on this because it's racist and funny. It's not actually racist, but it seemed racist. And like, we're walking along, and like I said, like, these places can get confusing first off, because it's like a flea market. You have bays or whatever the fuck they're called.
Is it confusing as IKEA?
Could be.
Because I've got lost in IKEA. I won't go in that fucking place anymore. I refuse to go in that.
I love IKEA.
I need a GPS I need to have my maps open to get through that.
I love IKEA. But anyway, so I'm walking along, and like I said, it's kind of like a flea market where like you have individual sellers have spaces.
Oh, okay.
Even though they're not there.
Okay.
Like it's all set up where like they can look up where stuff came from, and they put it in their computer. So like if you buy it, they automatically know whose money it is or whatever the fuck. I don't know how it works exactly.
Okay.
So I'm walking through, and then like I came around a corner, and there was a mannequin that was like, I can't explain how the mannequin was. It was like had a face and everything. It was kind of like an older mannequin, had one hand up, and I like turned the corner, and I wasn't expecting it. And it scared me. And I was like, jumped a little bit, and dude literally stared. I was like, oh shit, that scared the fuck out of me. And literally like right on the other side of the mannequin, just staring at me, is like the only fucking black guy I've seen in this entire place. So I then feel the need to instantly be like, the mannequin scared me, not the black guy. I didn't say the black guy, but I was like, is the mannequin. I got scared by the mannequin. And like, I was like, he 100% thought that I was racist and scared of him. 100 fucking percent. He just kind of looked at me weird. I was like, yeah, the mannequin. Oh my God. It was not my shining moment in life. Because it did. It was straight. Like if you saw like a hidden camera show, it would have looked like I was like, black guy, Jesus Christ.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, it was hilarious.
Now, was a mannequin white or black?
White.
Okay.
It was a white woman. The only thing scarier than a black male.
Oh, much scarier than a black man.
Dude, it looked so bad. Like, I'm sure somebody, like, probably for that guy. Actually, that guy probably laughed when he walked away.
Said, honey, you ain't gonna believe this.
He probably laughed when he walked away. Any other white person that was around would probably be like, I thought we were past these times. I mean, bitch, you were around for these times. What the fuck are you talking about? And my other thing about antique places, I love walking around and seeing stuff and going, racist? Dude, literally, like almost every other booth, you'd be like, racist.
Really racist?
Yeah. They got like the old, like giant lipped, like fucking black people statues and like the rice paddy hat Asian guys with no eyes at all. And you're like,
I remember as a kid.
You're like, I get that it's part of quote unquote history, but Jesus Christ, and you're charging $40 for the fucking thing.
I remember as a kid, driving through town in people's yards, the old.
Oh, the jockey or whatever, the lawn jockey.
Yeah, I remember.
I think that's a racist term. I don't think you're supposed to say lawn jockey.
Thinking back, I was like, Jesus Christ, everybody was fucking racist.
Yeah. It was a different time. No, you were racist. It's okay.
People were as pissy about it.
I don't want to say it's okay, but like it's okay. You didn't know better. You were doing what you were taught.
Right.
I was taught not to fucking hate people because of their color. I learned it. I learned it later in life.
Just not to like other Asians.
Yeah. And blacks.
And Vietnamese.
And Russians. I'm a self-hating Asian. I'm an Asian that only likes whites. Not really. I love all people, but God damn it, I guarantee you, if that guy, definitely like the people that were around thought I was fucking racist. Oh, Jesus.
Well, maybe this will get to him.
It was fucking hilarious. It was so fucking funny to me after the fact because I was like, I gotta get out of here so I can kind of laugh about this because like somebody thinks I'm racist. I don't know who, but somebody definitely does, and I'm not. I legitimately got scared by the fucking mannequin. I literally even pointed out, I was like, I wasn't expecting her to have a fucking face. So it was like kind of like the silhouette of a human, and then it had a face, and you're like, fuck, oh, it's not. Fuck.
My bad.
Yeah, and then it's like, how do I handle this? I just continue talking because I don't want to be like the movies where you just dig the hole deeper and you're like, oh, my bad, dog. I mean, sorry, sir.
All right. You about ready to get the fuck out of here. All right. Thanks, everybody, for staying with us through this episode. We greatly appreciate your support. We will see you next week with another topic that probably will be much better than this one. And Travis will try not to be racist toward any people in an antique mall next week.
Just don't scare me. That's how it happens. I wasn't being racist. I was scared.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, all that happy shit, and we will see you next week. Say bye, Travis.
Bye.